Hello viewers, another question on circular functions and trigonometry, lesson 3. The question reads, a ship leaves a harbor H and sails for 32 kilometers on a bearing of 25 degrees, to point X. At X, it changes course and then sails for 45 kilometers on a bearing of 280 degrees to a port P. Now, the first question is for us to sketch a diagram showing H, X, and P. Now, the second question is to calculate the direct distance from H to P. And lastly, to calculate the bearing of P from H. All right, so now the first thing to do in this case is to draw, the diagram showing H, X, P. All right, so now let's start. Let's start with, we have 32 kilometers on a bearing of 025 degrees to point X. Okay, that is, so that means a ship leaves a harbor. So in this case, we're going to have, it's going to be this way. Let's start this way. Okay, we have, this is H, it leaves a harbor. So that is H. Then on a bearing of 25 degrees. Okay, this is 25 degrees. And at a distance of what? 32 kilometers. That's 32 kilometers. Then to point, so we have to point X, okay, on a bearing of this to point X. So this is X. So this angle will be 25 degrees. That is alternate angle. Alternate angle. So this is point X. All right. So then also we are given that at X, it changes course and sails for 45 kilometers. So let's not forget that when taking bearing, we go clockwise. So this is 180, this, then this. Okay. It sails, then sails for 45 kilometers on a bearing of 280. Now this is 270. This is 90, 90, then 90. That's 270. Then plus 10. That makes 280. All right, so that means the angle here will be 10 degrees. Okay, then this is 25. So if we do 90 minus 25, that'll be 65. Yeah, so that'll be 65. So this will be 65. So the angular measure here will be 75 degrees. Then on a that's distance in this case will be 45 kilometers. All right, so to point P. So this is P. Okay, so now, so P is the port. So this is the sketch. That's the sketch. All right, so the first now, so this is A, to sketch a diagram showing H, X, and P. This is not drawn to scale. So we have H, X, and P. So this is the what? This is the starting point. Okay, a ship leaves a harbor H and sails for 32 kilometers on a bearing of 025 degrees to point X. So this is point X. So alternate. Okay, then as X at X, it changes course and then sails for 45 kilometers on a bearing of 280. So this is 180. This is 270 plus 10. That makes 280. Okay, all right, so now, so which means the angular measure at X will be 65 plus, that'll be 10, okay, 10 plus 65, and that'll be what? 75 degrees. So that's A. So B, now for B, we are asked to calculate the direct distance from H to P. Direct distance from H to P, this distance. And let's not forget that when this is 10 degrees, this also will be what? 10 degrees alternate angle. All right, so we want to know what is the distance HP. So to calculate the direct distance from H to P, so we want to calculate HP. Okay, let's calculate HP. So if this side is HP, okay, that means we're going to what? We're going to use what we call cosine rule. So to calculate HP, and we know that px or xp. Xp is 45 kilometers. Then xh or hx rather, hx is 32 kilometers. And then the angle x, that's angle at x, that will be hxp. Angle hxp, that equals to 75 degrees. So using the cosine rule, we have hp squared equals to hx squared plus xp squared minus 2 times hx, okay, multiplied by xp, cos the angle is what? 75 degrees. That's it. All right, so we have hp squared. What is hx? Hx is 32. So this will be 32 squared plus xp, that's 45. That'll be 45 squared. Then minus 2 times 32 multiplied by what? 45. Then cos 75 degrees. Okay, so what is 32 squared plus 45 squared? 32 squared plus 45 squared. That'll be 3049. So this will be 3049. Okay, 3049. That's hp squared equals to 3049 minus. So now let's get the value for 32 times 2 times 45, then cos 75 degrees. That'll be 745.399. Okay, 745.399. That's it. So what is 3049 minus 745.399? 745.399. So that will be hp squared will be equals to 2303.601. Okay, so let's get the value of hp. That means hp will be equals to the square root of 2303.601. So let's get the square root of 2303, okay, 0.601. Square root of 2303.601, and that will be 47. hp is 47.99, so that will be approximately 48 kilometers. So hp is 48 kilometers. Now that's it. So now we want to calculate, the next question is to calculate the bearing of P from H. Okay, the bearing of P from H. The bearing of P from H, okay, can be, the angle can be PHN, where N is the what? The direction of the north, the direction of the north. Or we can call it XHP. Yes, XHP. That's XHP, because it's going to be this way, XHP. XHP. So yeah, so what we do is so we want to know the angular measure. That's XHP, this angle, or this, there's an angle that will be measured here. All right, so that is, we are going to measure some angles in between the north and east here. So all right, so let's calculate. So C, we want to calculate angle XHP. XHP is what? Bearing. So let's bearing of P from H equals to angle XHP. XHP, or we can say PHN. So where N is the what? Is the north, the direction of that's the north, which is the direction of the north. All right, so in this case, so we're going to use, so we just calculated this. Okay, let's use sine rule. So using the sine rule, so which means we're going to use pH because we calculated, okay, HP. We're going to use HP over sine HP over sine X over sine X, which is angle P or HXP. HXP, okay, angle HXP, and that will be equals to 45, which is XP, okay, XP over, yes, XP over XHP. XHP, that's sine XHP. XHP. All right. So HP, we have HP to be 48. So this is 48 over sine 75 degrees. That is HXP. That will be 75 degrees. And that equals to XP, which is 45 over sine XHP. So let's cross multiply. So in this case, sine XHP will be equals to 45 sine 75 degrees over what? 48. Yeah. So let's get what is 45 sine 75 degrees. That will be 43 points. That will be sine XHP equals to 43.47 divided by 48. Divided by 48. That will be sine XHP will be equals to 0.9056. 9056. So let's get the inverse sine of 0.9056. So we have XHP to be equals to the inverse sine of 0.9056, which is what? 64.9. Okay, 6.64.9. That's the angle. All right, so, but let's not forget that there is 25 degrees here. There's angle 25 degrees. So that means the bearing of P from H will be equals to 25 degrees plus 64.9. That will be plus 60 plus 25. That will be 89.9. 89.9. So that will be approximately 90 degrees. So the bearing of P from H is 90 degrees, because we can also see that, like I said, we can consider it to be XHP or PHN, where N is the direction of the north. So it's going to be what? It's going to be exactly what? 90 degrees. The noblest pleasure is the joy of understanding. Bye-bye.